Eragon stretched in the hall. He was stiff from sitting so long. Book 1, Eragon. Chapter 53, Bless the Child, Argetlam. And Chapter 54, Mandrake Root and Newt's Tongue. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle chapter by chapter. I'm Lucy Hart.
And I'm Darien Smartt.
And I really like this chapter.
And Angela's back.
You get Angela. Angela's back.
What?
When you asked, like, hey, can we combine these chapters? I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was listening to it and I'm like, this is why.
Okay. Yes. First, it was because I was looking at how long each chapter was, and I'm like, okay, this next one's only 10 minutes long. And the one after that is going to be Hall of the Mountain King. And not a lot happens in Bless This Child, Argetlam, except for the Bless This Child bit.
Yeah,
so
the ending is heavy.
We could stand to confine too. But when I saw that the start of the chapter was Mandrake Root and Newt's Tongue, I was like, oh, our girl's back.
Our girl's back.
Because this could only be about one person.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, Lucy, do you have a spark of inspiration?
Oh, God.
Would you like me to go first?
Yes, go first.
Okay. I recently read a couple of graphic novels.
Ooh.
I really like them. It was the first one and the second in what I believe is meant to be a sequel, but I don't know, or a series.
Yeah.
And they are called Hellaween.
Ooh.
By Moss Lawton.
Absolutely.
Lucy, if you want to take a look, they're actually on my book pile right there. If you want to, honestly, I'm going to hand one to you so you can check out the art style.
Yes.
Crabby hands.
Oh, I love that. The art style is
Super
cute.
cool.
It's very comic.
Yes.
It's graphic novel, but it's very comic.
Yeah, it's very cool. Lawton has done a lot of, they are a professional animator. They've done a lot of really cool stuff. They've worked for, Nick and Cartoon Network and Monster High. It's very cool. And their style is very distinct and unique and striking. I like it a lot. The second one, there are some moments where I'm like, okay, Soul Eater, go off.
Yeah.
And then recently they have been posting art of their characters in Halloween costumes, and they posted art of their vampire dressed as Death the Kid. And I'm like, no, I could tell. Listen, I know a Soul Eater girly when I see one.
Yeah.
To be fair, it wasn't subtle. Their moon in the spooky Halloween town has that face on it. And there's literally a Frankenstein character who has a screw click in their head.
Oh.
So I was like, I see you. You're not subtle, nor are you trying to be.
I do love that character, by the way.
Oh, Professor Stein? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have issues with Soul Eater, personally.
Yeah.
But some of the characters are so fucking on
fun.
point.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's so
we're
good.
not going to get into
This is not what we're going to talk about now. But
thank you.
Hellaween is essentially, it is about this girl, Gwen, who is a witch. She's also human. She lives in the human world. And around Hellaween, her two best friends, a werewolf named Sloane and a vampire named Miles, come from the Hollows, which is the spooky Halloween hell dimension where they live. And they're able to come when, basically the veil is thin,
absolutely.
and they can travel through liminal space. They can travel through liminal places to get there, and that's when they get to see their buddy Gwen.
Yeah,
and they just hang out for Halloween together, and they have good times. And there's just really casual lore that's super interesting.
Yeah,
they talk about how honestly we thought witches were extinct. Magic is super rare.
That's cool.
But they also have the bit of a problem is that there's the local supernatural obsessed monster hunter hero who is he's several Halloweens ago, me and my dad almost died when we were forced off the road by these two creatures running across the street. So I know there are monsters and I know they're out to get humanity and I have to protect humanity.
Yeah.
And his best friend B is like, I hate Halloween. I hate how you get this time of year.
Yeah.
Call me when you're done and we can go to the arcade at the mall and see a movie. She's so over it.
Yeah.
But that's these just two groups of kids just trying to do Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's really cute and I like it a lot. And the first one's just really fun and interesting. It kind of reminds me of comparing the first one, which is Hellaween, and the second one's called Hellaween Spellbent.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of how I feel about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Where the first season, it's really fun. It's poppy. It's got moments where it's like, whoa, this is like intense.
Yeah.
But by and large, it's like a little bit more episodic, a little bit more just like things happen and it's cute. And then Spellbent is where you get a lot more plot driven stuff. And I feel like season 2 of Avatar is where you get a little bit more not
driven.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I don't know whether I like one more than the other. They're just different, but they're still the same. Right? They're still of each other. But yeah, it's super fun. Shout out to my buddy Tim, who's the one that recommended I read these a year ago when Hellaween first came out. And I wanted to, but the executive dysfunction of my brain said no. So now I got to read them both, and they were really fun. And so the inspiration is like the casual lore and the world building and the characters just being a little extreme and silly because it's a Hellaween series and they get to be that way. And the art that I talked about the first book on my other podcast on our bonus episode, and it just ended with me being like, I want to make a graphic novel so bad. I love graphic novels. I want to make one. I have not put any of my skill points in art like this. So it's like, that's just not a thing I've ever put any of my skill points in. I put them in other things. But so Spark of Inspiration was just, I liked it so much, and it just made me want to get back into working on my draft and then make my world just a little bit more fantastical. Like a little bit more dramatic. And because it can be, because it's like, why wouldn't it be more magical? Why wouldn't it be a little bit more hyper realistic or not hyper real, but like hyper surreal? Because it is. So
absolutely.
And I also sometimes I think I use in Spark of Inspiration just to recommend things. Hellaween, go rent it from your local library or get it from your favorite comic book shops. It's super fun. And Moss Lawton at the end of the second one mentioned how they got like, it's supposed to be a series. So I would really like it if it meant I get, for the next few years, every Hellaween, I get a new Hellaween book.
That would be cute.
Because the Adventure Zone is wrapping next year, which means I'm not going to have my graphic novel I look forward to all year long. So, and Lore Olympus is starting to get towards the end. So I'd like to keep having the graphic novel I look forward to all year long.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
All right, Liz, what do you got?
I don't know if mine's going to be it's kind of boring, I think. The only thing I can really think of is that at work, my manager is back from maternity leave, which means that I'm not going to be stressing that there's only, because there's 3, like how my job works, there's like 3 tiers of management. There's the management, the assistant to the management. There's the manager, then the assistant to the manager, and then there's the assistant to the assistant, and I am the assistant to the assistant. So now that we have a manager back, because I've been acting as the assistant, basically. And so with her back, that is less stress on me. I'm not worrying about shit as much as I used to be. And that's, I have been feeling more of my sparks of like, I want to write more.
Getting some spoons back would help a lot with that. Can relate.
So I'm thinking like my spark of inspiration is like, shit is getting easier at work, which means I'm hopefully
get more of your
getting my
resources
creativeness back, and I can actually write. Because, like, small side tangent, me and my D&D group, we finished up our big arc, and we're starting a new one, but, like, in the interim, we're kind of having a break, obviously, because that was, like, a 2-year campaign.
Big campaign,
so we ended up we're doing like very short like D&D campaigns, or like Dalton's our DM Dalton. We've talked about Dalton before. Hi
Dalton's
Dalton,
great. We love you.
He's great. Doing a Monster of the Week campaign, and so like I just wrote a little snippet. I want to be a professional, and so I just wrote like a 2-page like backstory of her and how what she is. And so I'm finding myself doing that more. I'm writing just little 2, 3, 5 pages of my characters from D&D, and I'm like that is a lot better than what it was like 2 months ago, which was nothing. So I'm like, I feel like I'm going in the right direction to continue writing my book and continue to writing all of those short stories that I've been also wanting to write. So less stress at work.
That's so good. I would love to play Monster of the Week. Because we did for like a big chunk of time. I was just the director, which was great. But I just had this thing like, oh, what would I do if I was going to do one? I'm like, oh, I want to be a spell slinger because I always like doing the magic. But I was like, oh, but what if I was a spell slinger who did tarot cards, and you draw whatever the card is what it's like, what do I need right now? And you draw a card, and it's like the 3 of Swords. Okay.
And that'd be cool.
But so That's so fun. I hope Dalton
Yeah.
was talking about it in the Muses Discord.
Yeah.
Where he's building playlists.
Yeah.
So he was asking for any like feedback to help with songs. And so
Yeah.
he was describing what the characters' vibes are. And
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to tell Lucy all about that. I know all about her next campaign. He's like, well, they know
he literally said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's hilarious.
I'm like, obviously I would never. But I like to be like, I know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't. We don't.
I know he said like they have the playlist, but they don't have any of these details.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yep.
got it. Tell
Yep.
Lucy about all of it.
Yep.
Noted.
Yeah.
So, speaking of someone finally telling someone things, Angela's back, but not yet.
Angela, but not yet.
Not yet.
We get a good time with Orik. So one of the thing is like
Hold
in
on.
this.
I did it. I have
Oh
it.
yes, you have a
this time.
synopsis.
I
No,
have the
please
synopsis.
continue.
Okay.
I forgot about it this time. Please continue.
Bless the child Argetlam. While Saphira gets comfortable in their new quarters, Eragon gets to know their dwarven guide Orik better. When Dragon and Rider reunite, they draw a crowd, including an older woman who begs Eragon to bless an orphan baby girl left in her care. Eragon delivers the blessing in the ancient language, and Saphira imparts the child with a star on her brow. The pair reflect on destiny and their future before retiring for the evening. Mandrake root and Newt's tongue. Angela's back, and Solumbum too. Eragon awakes to find the werecat who leads him to where Angela is staying at Trojanheim. The pair catch up, and the witch informs Eragon that she likes to be where the action is.
Yep, I like that. What I was saying is like what I like about this is we get more info on Orik, who we were just like he's the best boy.
He's
We
cool.
like him already. He's
Orik's a
super
cool dude.
super chill. And then we also get just for the first time in maybe since Eragon was at the farm, he fully and completely relaxes.
Yeah.
He is able to chill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, for me, I'm like, it is so hard earned. And it's so relaxing to see Eragon relax. He takes a fucking bath, he scrubs everything, and then just like lays there in the warm water.
Oh,
And it was just so, for me, it was so gratifying. Like, he can actually just fucking chill. He can have a bath and chill. And for me, I'm like, he deserves it.
Yeah.
They all deserve that. Holy shit.
No, it's very good. He just gets to, and then Saphira's real excited because they have places up high where the dragons would come in and stay when they would have riders visiting. So it's a space specifically designed for dragons to be comfortable. So she gets that, and that's really cool. And yeah, they just get to be like, they're still a little cautious because Eragon, they have a conversation later where they're like, okay, like Saphira says, we've left a place where it's like, claws and swords, but they're still at war of like words and politics, and we have to still be, so they still have to be on guard.
Yep. And I do like even like at the beginning of the chapter, at the beginning of the chapter ends, what I really like about this too is we're getting more into scene ends, and then we're a chapter starts with like the continuation of the scene, which I really enjoy actually. So we get the scene of Eragon apologizing to Orik that, hey, like, you got basically demoted, sorry about that, and Orik says like, oh no, this is exactly what I wanted. Like, he's still under the rule of his king. That's what he wants.
Yeah, he just says, he said, like, the way Aja had worded it specifically was like, you can't do any military action under my command. But, so not only he's like, oh no, Orik can still do the things he wants, but also he was given, it's a pretty big honor.
A big honor
to be the one who's in this close contact with the Dragon Rider.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we find out that the king is part of Orik's clan.
Yeah,
and that'll
Orik's
probably
clan.
make the king very happy that a member of his clan was selected to be the guide to the dragon and the Dragon Rider.
Absolutely. And then just addition to that, kind of like hinting at the cautiousness, is Eragon is like, no, like, what do you mean we're gonna separate? Like, I want to be with Saphira. Like, I want to go eat with her. And Orik's like, that's like really high up. Like, we can get somebody to serve you food up there. It's just gonna take a while because they have to go up all the steps. And like Eragon's debating about it, and Saphira says like, we're fine.
Yeah.
Like, right now we're like,
We're good.
we need to be cautious, absolutely, but we're actually safe. So you go and eat, and then we can meet up afterward. And then Eragon's like, okay, let's and it's almost like a test because Orik's like testing, like, what are you gonna do? And I think that's a hint towards how the dwarfs see riders as possibly being arrogant and throwing their weight around. Entitled. So it's like, no, I'm gonna go up to the dragon and you bring me food, like that. But Eragon's like, no, I'll go with you, like, that's okay.
Yeah, because he's not like, oh, I want you to go out of your way to serve me. His concern is like, I don't want to be separated from Saphira
Yes.
in this place we don't know. And Orik's like, okay, you can do that. Heads up, it's going to be a lot more effort on our part to accommodate you.
Yep.
And Eragon's like, okay, I don't want to. I'm not like, he's like, I'm not asking anybody to go out of their way for us. So, okay, if Saphira says it's cool, it'll be cool.
Yeah, and what I actually really like is what Eragon's like, he would actually do it. He, like, Orik, how Orik says it, he's like,
we'll do it.
He'll do it. This isn't him just being like, it's a possibility. This is 100% what will happen if I choose to do this. And then he's like, nah, it's fine.
I do like a moment where Orik, when they're like, trying to set things up, come lad, I'm sure you're hungry, and we have to get your dragon settled in. Saphira hissed. Eragon said, her name is Saphira. Orik made a slow bow to her. My apologies. I'll be sure to remember that.
I like that.
I think, because we have here is, like we learned the last thing, Orik, the dwarves don't care for dragons or dragon riders because they have this historical, like, ancient bad blood with the dragons. There has never been a dwarf dragon rider. And also, they kind of just like, it doesn't really matter to them that Galbatorix is a human the same way it matters to the elves that he's a human. They just view the dragon riders as being the problem, the reason that Galbatorix got to come to power in the first place.
And like, in the same instance, it could feel like the dwarves, like, we were here first and y'all just came along and just now
wrecked the place.
Yeah, now you're dragon riders, and what are we supposed to do? We're just sideline? Like, what the fuck is that up about?
Yeah.
So there could be also, like, bad line with that as well.
But I think it's also when he says, like, oh, we have to get your dragon settled in, like, it's the way you treat a horse.
Yes.
And I think it's Orik not realizing Saphira, he's obviously like, oh, she's a big, scary dragon. She's powerful. But perhaps has never been indicated to the dragons are intelligent.
Yeah.
She has a name. You should address her. And the fact that he corrects so quickly, his response, he doesn't seem like taken aback or angry. His response is instantly to bow to Saphira and apologize. And promise to do better.
Yeah.
And I think that shows a great character thing.
Absolutely. And I also think, like, it kind of makes me wonder is, like, I don't know if these dwarves have ever had experience with dragons before.
Well, if they have, Trojanheim was designed for the dragons and riders to visit.
It's been a minute, so I don't know if they've actually had any, like, experience with
lived experience.
Yes,
because we know they live a long time. He says it took generations of dwarves to build this place, and that dwarf lives are longer than humans.
Yeah,
but also.
I don't know about as long as dragon riders and their dragons. So it's like that kind for me, I'm like, I feel like they might have met a couple of dragons, but it's still it's been so long that they just like, they might treat a dragon like an intelligent horse. Like they're like, oh yeah, they're smart like a dog. Like, oh no, it's smart. Absolutely. You can learn tricks in there. They do all these things.
They're reliable.
Yes, absolutely. But in the end, they're animals. And it's like, no, they are much more than that.
Yeah, you wouldn't say to a dog, oh, you need to go get settled in. You'd say, no, we can get your dog settled in.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly that.
Exactly. So I think there is a disconnection where Orik's like, oh yes, like, or maybe being like, oh yes, riders are very particular how you treat their dragons because, dragons are really special to them and they're important, they're smart and stuff like this. So sorry about that, but I think you make a good point about, like, we don't know and we don't see at least in this scene where he's respectful and I think it's good that he's like, oh sorry,
he bows to Saphira.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
She does hiss about it. It's not Eragon being like, oh, she has a name. She does react like, hey. First, and I think that's enough for Orik to be like, oh, she didn't like what I just said.
But I also think, like, I don't know if there is a full, like, comprehension or understanding. He doesn't and I do think, like, there is that disconnect with people who just have never interacted with dragons or a dragon rider. So I'm like, I think there is that.
There's still room to understand. But the fact that Orik was so quick to pivot indicates a lot about this character.
Absolutely, 100%. The fact that he doesn't, I think what you said, that he doesn't bluster or get, like, shocked or offended about it. He's just instantly like, oh shit, yes, sorry. I'll do better, which is really good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like we get a little bit more talks about, who else here can use magic. And Orik tells them
get this.
Yeah, few enough. The ones we have can't do much more than heal bruises. They've all had to tend to Aryo because of the strength needed to heal her. Except for the twins. Oye. Which is not just oi, it looks like it's a dwarven word.
Yeah.
Actually, I bet I can.
Yeah, I bet we can find it.
Yeah.
I, like, got to my phone to look it up, but I'm like, I don't have my book.
Oh, one thing I didn't mention, there's the dwarf language has Trojanheim mentioned. It translates to Helm of Giants.
Yeah.
So, Anyway. Heim, whatever. Oye, it's a yes, affirmative.
Yeah.
And so she wouldn't want their help anyway. Their arts are not for healing. Their talents lie in scheming and plotting for power to everyone's detriment. And then he also says, Daenor, Ajahad's predecessor, allowed them to join the Varden because he needed their support. You can't oppose the Empire without spellcasters who can hold their own on the field of battle. They're a nasty pair, but they do have their uses.
Yep.
So even that adds more to our, like, we don't like the twins.
Yeah.
And the fact that we learn, oh, Ajahad is not the one that put them in this position.
Yeah.
He basically inherited these two.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And that also could make us understand about the twins' high opinion of themselves dressing in the same attire, where we've been here longer. They might have had more dealings with the past leader of the Varden, like they were up there, and so when Ajahad joined, they believe that they might believe, like, they might not express it, but they are higher than
they view
Ajahad.
themselves as more important
exactly,
than Ajahad.
because like we were here first, kind of thing.
Like,
so
you're replaceable, but we're not.
Yes, exactly.
So we get a little bit more about, like, you know, the way it's structured, or the way Trojanheim is structured.
Yes, I was gonna say, I think we get more definition of the jewel, don't we? In this, he talks a little bit about the big giant diamond or whatever, a little bit.
Don't remember a diamond. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, you're right. They see the gates. Where are we going? Out of the hall so Saphira can fly to the dragon hold above Istar Marith, the Star Rose. And so that's the only mention of it.
Yeah.
It's just the Star Rose.
Okay,
And
so
then
they do mention it briefly, but don't go into it. All right.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So they're above. Yeah.
Yep. And then when she lands on it, he gets worried about, and I've mentioned this several times now, but he's like, make sure you don't scratch it, and she's like, I'm not going to be able to scratch this thing, because I think the roost is above that.
Yeah. So it's like literally above, like built above this giant.
Which,
gem.
and it was like, I think when I read this the first time, like I thought, oh, there's like whatever, but it's like, no, literally the floor is the rose.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, that's weird.
Very,
all right.
But that's a very, like, place of respect to put your dragons.
Oh,
above
absolutely.
This beautiful gemstone.
Absolutely. Yep.
So we get some cool details, you know, how many people have, like, are all of the dwarves a part of the Varden? Like, yes and no.
Yeah.
How many humans are here? I think it's around 4,000.
Yeah.
But the only ones that are there are the ones willing to fight. I think there are other places where people who've just fled the Empire
it's
are
Serta.
kept.
I think that's where we get a little bit of Serta, where most of the refugees have fled to Serta, and then we get a little bit of like, oh, Serta is like supplying the Varden, and Galbatorix kind of like Galbatorix doesn't really consider Serta a threat, and Orik says something about like that's wrong because without Serta's help, the Varden would not be able to be a Varden.
Yes, it's King Orin, we learned, is the ruler of Serta. He can't fight the Empire himself. It would show open hostility. Galbatorix would crush him. As it is, Galbatorix withholds that destruction because he considers Serta a minor threat, which is a mistake. It's through Orin's assistance that the Varden have most of their weapons and supplies. Without him, there would be no resisting the Empire.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty interesting, like, kind of important geopolitical stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we do know there's this other hold, like there is Serta, where the Empire has not been able to take.
Yep.
And Galbatorix just ignores him because it's not worth his time and trouble. But literally, the Varden wouldn't be able to survive if they were not getting outside support.
Yes.
And so it's real world stuff. There's a lot of like groups that would not be able to do what they do if they were not receiving support from another power.
Yep.
And that's very interesting.
Yes,
to
very
include.
interesting.
We get about the clan and stuff, like King Hrothgar. Hrothgar is Durgamist Ingenuity? Whatever. Basically, he's part of, like, you know, that's how we know it's like Orik's clan.
Yes.
Because he mentions that. Someone calls Eragon Argetlam.
Argetlam, yep.
Argetlam, and he's like, what does he say? Orik shrugged, embarrassed. It's an elven word that was used to refer to the riders. It means silver hand. Because the,
Gedway Ignatia.
Yep. Has
I believe I say that right.
Silver on his palm.
Yep.
So that's pretty interesting. I also like when Eragon's like, hey, is there somewhere I could bathe? Like, I haven't been able to wash off the grime on the road for a long time. Also, my shirt is bloodstained and torn, and it stinks. I'd like to replace it, but I don't have any money to buy a new one. Is there a way I could work for one? Do you seek to insult Hrothgar's hospitality, Eragon? As long as you are in Trojanheim, you don't buy a thing.
Yep.
You'll pay for it other ways. Ajahad and Hrothgar will see to that.
Yep.
Like, the indignant, how dare you suggest we would take money from you?
Yeah.
That we would not provide you with what... My job is literally to see to your accommodations. How dare you suggest we would not see you get proper clothes?
What I like about this, too, is it also speaks, again, to Eragon's character being, like, he's not full of himself. Yep. He's not like, oh, I'm here, so you guys get to, like, do this. He's like, he doesn't expect, he's like, I am not expecting anybody to...
I will not expect you to give me these goods.
Things. Yes, he's like, I will fully be like, I will work for them.
Yeah,
like,
I don't have money, but I can work it off.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, because when he goes through, when he sees the people, they all are, like, struggling. Like, this is not a place of luxury and abundance.
Absolutely.
Like, there are people here and they don't have a lot, and he can tell that this is like they are on tough times.
Yes.
So he, like, him just being like, hey, I'm not expecting you to give me anything. The resources here are finite, especially with talking about how, like, the elves aren't currently supporting him.
Yeah,
like, he's
and they mentioned that their resources are finite.
Yeah.
So, but what I remembered is that Eragon asks about farming.
Yeah.
And that just made me so happy. I'm like, of course he asks about farming.
He's a farm boy.
He's a farm boy. He's going to ask
He's
about
from a
farming.
farm.
Yeah. And I like how Oric's like, no,
they grow mushrooms and, like, moss.
And he's like, we don't have enough sunlight. And I'm like, that fucking sucks too. Like, I would not be happy with that.
So, yeah, their meal is mushrooms and fish.
Yeah.
Which would literally, I'd be like, I'm going to starve to death.
Right? Like, ooh.
Please don't ask me to eat maybe my two things that I just will not eat. Yeah. Like, I cannot eat fish and I cannot eat mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like, two things that I cannot.
Yeah.
I can't make myself eat it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Fair enough. Just nope, can't.
Can I just fill up on bread, if that's okay? Is there a side of rice? I'm not asking you to make something new for me. I'm just saying, is there another side?
Is there a side that I can just go to town on?
Yeah. Eragon getting to relax and stuff. That's
and, like, he has a full meal and is able to sit down and enjoy the meal. And then have a nice conversation in good company, and, like, not worry about anything. And then he's able to have a bath afterwards, and then new clothes, and able to have, again, more good company, more good conversation. And then Saphira comes, and he's able to just be like, "Hey, Saphira, I'm ready."
Not in hiding. There's tons of people around, but she just gets to
fly down.
Yeah, not have to worry about. And then, we don't, like, get in Saphira's head and how she's feeling, but like, she's got to be feeling great.
Yeah, and we do have Eragon checking in on her at one, like, as he kind of checks in on her a little bit, and she's thoroughly enjoying a meal.
Oh yeah, she's, like, going all in. Like, he checks in, and there's no words exchanged. She just shares the moment she's experiencing, which is, like, chowing down on, like, a hind of a deer or something. He's like, she's I found it.
Yeah.
Eragon absently touched Saphira's mind and found her busy eating a bloody haunch with gusto.
Yep. And so it was like, all right.
She's good.
She's totally
also having
cool.
a good time.
Yep. But I do like when Saphira comes and lands, all these people kind of start coming out, and as the crowd gets bigger, Orik's like, you should leave.
You should go.
This is gonna get bad in a minute.
This is something we didn't talk about. So when in the last chapter, when Ajahad was like, Ajahad was like, hey man, like, people are gonna come to you specifically. They're gonna want you to, like, solve problems for them. Like, old men will come and ask you which of their children should get their inheritance. Like, women will come and ask you who they should marry. Like, and everyone's like, what? That's crazy. We see that here.
Yes, we do.
When they're about to take off, this
older woman.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I'll have someone wake you. Orik says, go meet me by the gate tomorrow morning. So before she could take off, an old woman stepped forward and grasped Eragon's foot with a fierce, full grip. He tried to pull away, but her hand was like an iron talon around his ankle. He could not break her tenacious hold.
And I like his alarm here.
Yeah, he gets scared. Like,
he's scared.
Yeah, frightened, Eragon asked, what do you want? And she's holding this bundle, and she reveals it's a baby. The child has no parents. There was no one to care for her but me, and I am weak. Bless her with your power, Ajahad. Bless her for luck. And he looks to Orik for help, and
Orik's like,
just watching, guarded, again, waiting to see what Eragon will do. The woman's eyes still fastened on him. Bless her, Ajahad. Bless her, she insisted.
Yep.
He's like, and I like this, like, a little bit of, like, world lore.
Yeah.
Because he thinks about how, like, one, he's never blessed anybody. It was not something done lightly, and, oh my god, how do I read the country? Allegasia. Whoa. I was like, my brain could not comprehend the letters for a second. It was not something done lightly in Allegasia, as a blessing could easily go awry and prove to be more of a curse than a boon, especially if it was spoken with ill intent or lack of conviction. Do I dare take on that responsibility? Bless her, Argetlam, bless her. So he keeps, like, the woman is adamant. She
insistent.
views, like, she's well aware she's going to die soon, and this baby will have no one.
Yes.
And so this woman is, like, fighting for this one chance to help this child. This,
yes.
like, newborn baby.
Yes.
And so Eragon, like, he's like, okay, well, I'll say something in the ancient language.
Yeah.
This would be a true blessing, spoken with words of power by one of power. And I mean, Lucy, do you want to try to say the phrase? 'Cause I'm not going to.
Let me pull it up.
Atra giule un ilian tauter ono, un atra ono weise scholar fra router.
And then the words left him unexpectedly weak, as if he had used magic. Yeah, my man!
Yeah,
You just blessed someone in the words from the ancient language. What did you think was going to it's the as if for me. Like he didn't think what he was doing was magic?
Yeah.
Which makes me very concerned.
It does. And I think, like, when I first read this, I was like, oh, like, holy shit, like, what a cool blessing. And I think, like, we're gonna keep that here. Like, oh, wow, he really protected this child, cast a spell for, like, protection.
When he says, that is all I can do for her. If any words have the power to forestall tragedy, it will be those. It doesn't actually say what he says. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if it's in the glossary, actually. What does it begin with? The letter A. I actually found it in the ancient language
cool.
and the thing in the back. So it actually starts with a note that I hadn't noticed before. As Eragon is not yet a master of the ancient language, his words and remarks were not translated literally, so as to save readers from his atrocious grammar. Quotations from other characters, however, have been left untouched.
Yeah.
The translation is, "Let luck and happiness follow you, and may you be shielded from misfortune."
Yep. So, but he says this, and what I think it makes it, like, again, like, maybe I'm as an adult reading it, because as a kid I was like, oh shit, like, that's really cool. And then Saphira, like, snakes her head
comes in
around,
and she like brushes the baby's forehead with the tip of her nose.
Yep.
Where Saphira had touched her was a star-shaped patch of skin as white and silvery as Eragon's
Gedwe
Ignacia. What did you do? Eragon asked softly. I gave her hope, and you gave her a future.
Yep. So that's, like, really, really cool. I think as an adult, just like, because we've talked about it before, where Eragon knows the ancient language. I think we were pressed that Brahm like, this is really fucking important.
Yeah.
Like, you can't lie in this language. You have to really think about it. I feel like Brahm pressures Eragon
He definitely communicates the weight of this tool.
Absolutely. And then at this moment, Eragon's like, man, do I take on this responsibility? And then chooses to say it in the ancient language. And I'm like, dude, you just, like, 10 times the responsibility because you spoke in a language that is, like, the language.
But it's funny because the reason he thinks he's like, well, blessings aren't done because they could end up as more of a curse, like it could be right. So I think his reasoning is like, well, the ancient language must be true.
That's
so if
true.
I put this blessing of, like, luck and fortune and, like, that will make sure it doesn't become like a curse. Like, this is what he's going for. And I think it's really interesting, but it does, like, communicate, like, we know Eragon still's not sure about this.
Yes.
Like, this is an impressive scene. And then Saphira giving her hope, you gave her a future. I do like that. And then when they take off, they really think about that. Like, he's like, what have I become? Like, this is crazy. I'm supposed to be a farm boy.
And that's, like, we've talked about it too before, like, Eragon kind of fully realizing as, like, a writer, like, what duties he has in. And I think in that moment, that's when this is his first, like, he's able to relax and eat, and then the weight of this fully hits him here, I think.
Because the stories he grew up of the writers were just of, they were the ones who kept order in the Empire. Like, they went around, they dealt with problems, but it feels very big picture. Right, they had great battles, and they maintained order, they went after criminals. Like, they were just, like, the order of the Empire.
Yes.
But he was never exposed to stories of what it looked like day to day to be a writer. And Eragon is definitely not the first writer who someone came up and said, please bless my family, bless the child, please help us.
Like, bless my marriage, bless, like, my wife passed, can you say a few words? Like, just
like,
that.
Literally, like, it's like, to, like, put it in, like, real context, like the Pope coming through and someone holding up their child and being like, please just touch my child. Like, let this be a thing that protects them. Like, that, how the almost everyday need of the people.
Yep.
And he's like, whoa. And so I like that,
This conversation with them is so good.
Yeah, she's like, what am I? And she's like, a hatchling. That's what you are. A hatchling struggling into the world. I may be younger than you in years, but I am ancient in my thoughts. Don't worry about things. Find peace and where and what you are. All you need to do is show them a way. That is wisdom. As for feats, no army could have given the blessing you did. But it was nothing, a trifle. Nay, it wasn't. What you saw was the beginning of another story, another legend. Do you think that child will ever be content to be a tavern keeper or a farmer when her brow is dragon marked and your words hang over her? You underestimate our power and that of fate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still like, he kind of wants to argue with this. And he's like, I don't know what I am. Something's changing me. I can't be a farm boy. It is your weird that shapes you. And weird spelled W-Y-R-D, which is a term from the Nordic language.
Yeah.
Your weird, it kind of is akin to your destiny, your fate, what your weird is.
Yeah.
Like the weird sisters in that kind of like Celtic mythology.
Yes.
These like sisters, like kind of like the fates in Greek mythology is
Yes.
what these figures represent. So
Yep.
that's what weird is. He continues to argue, and finally she's just like, I chose you from within my egg. You have been given a chance most would die for. Are you unhappy with that? Clear your mind of those thoughts. They cannot be answered, and they will make you no happier.
Yep.
Because he's still just like, oh, we have to accept our fate. What choice do
Like,
we
what
have?
do
And
we-
she's like, listen, man, I chose you.
Yep.
That's what it. And I think
that's the truth of the matter.
I think that tells us a lot about Saphira, because Eragon's like, I don't know what fate is. Do I even have any control? Do I even have any choice? And Saphira's like, I chose you.
Yeah.
I did that. And that's hers. Like, that's enough.
Yep.
For Saphira, who's like, I think we get a lot of what she feels in that moment in conversation.
Yeah.
Where Eragon's like, what is, because he didn't choose Saphira and this path of a dragon knowing what it, or Rider knowing what it would be.
Yes.
He did choose to take this weird stone home.
Yes.
And so likewise, Saphira's like being like, but I chose you. And that led you on this path because I made a choice. And for her, she's saying like, yeah, it's your weird. We have like destiny, sort of like this amorphous thing. But it all chose down to a choice that I did make. I didn't have to pick you.
Yeah.
It's like we just found out a couple chapters ago, like her egg has been passed around from human children and elves for a decade.
Yeah, a decade.
She had so many people she could have chosen.
Yeah.
And she didn't. She chose
Eragon.
Eragon.
Yep.
And her thing is like, yeah, we have your weird will shape you. There is fate. There is new things that'll start. There were things that happen to us that will shape, like this girl. Her life will be different because she literally cannot live a normal life now.
Yes.
But it was because we made a choice. You made a choice. I made a choice. Like, you can dwell on this and it's not going to make you any happier. So you need to let it go, my man.
Yeah. Yep.
And I like that. I like how Saphira exists in this thing where there is fate. There are things greater than us. But also her thing is this all started because I chose you.
Yes.
And there is choice in that.
Yep.
And do you wish I chose someone else? Of course not.
Yep.
Like, and I think even if it had turned out that their life were totally normal, that this wasn't a crazy time, I think Eragon would never want for Saphira to have not chosen him. Not because it thrust him in this life of grand legend and adventure, but because if she hadn't chosen him, they wouldn't be together.
Yes.
And I think whatever happens, Eragon will always want to be with Saphira.
Yes.
Like we saw at the beginning where he's like, I don't want to be separated from Saphira.
Yep. Agreed.
And then we get like, I don't, it's like, won't you scratch it? I think not. It's no ordinary gem.
Yep.
And they just get to like
chill.
Settle. But also I love this other thing where they're looking at the chambers. Well, I have to sleep apart from you. No, there is a bed for you in my cave. Come see.
Yeah.
And literally like this whole thing is built for a rider. It's like whoever crafted this space knew that the riders and the dragons do not want to be separated from each other even in sleeping.
Yes.
And so he's got there's like a little bed. And there's a massive bed for Saphira.
Which is so good.
And it's so good. Oh, here's where she talks about the warfare. She's like, what do you think of Trojanheim and Ajahad? We shall see. It seems, Eragon, that we are embroiled in a new type of warfare here. Swords and claws are useless, but words and alliances may have the same effect. The twins dislike us. We should be on our guard for any duplicities they might attempt. Not all of the dwarves trust us. The elves didn't want a human rider, so there will be opposition from them as well. The best we can do is identify those in power and befriend them, and quickly too.
Yep.
And I like Then they go to and they settle.
And,
and it's really
then
nice.
they settle and they do that. Yep. And then the next chapter
Eragon
opens with
wakes
Eragon
up.
waking up
We
again.
didn't have to read, but
and
still.
we see a very familiar shape, and it's just like, oh hey, we know you.
It's so it's so cute. He's like, I like also this chapter. He's thinking about everything that happened to him. Tension knotted inside him, a tension that had been accumulating since Brom's death, and even before, since leaving Palancar Valley.
Yep.
I don't have to be afraid anymore.
Yep.
But what about Murtagh?
Yeah.
He's still worried about. We haven't seen Murtagh.
Yeah, I haven't seen
since he
Murtagh
left
a while.
Ajahad, and so it's like, we don't know what's going on with her buddy. And I like that Eragon, he's very empathetic. And the concern, he's like, well, I'm safe here. Like, I feel good about being here. But, like, God, what about Murtagh?
Yes, exactly.
And then that leaves his mind because he tilted his head and looked out at the dragon hold. A large cat sat on the edge of the cave, licking its paws. It glanced at him, and he saw a flash of slanted red eyes. Solembum? Obviously.
Obviously. I fucking love him so much.
Just trots out. Cat wants you to follow. Okay, I'm gonna follow this cat all the way down these like twisted turning passageways. And I love the detail of like he never catches up with Solembum, but he always sees like a glimpse of the cat. So he knows he's still on the right thing. Yeah, it's very much like following a cat.
Yeah, it's follow me, but he's like, I'm gonna make sure you follow me, but not actually follow me. Like you'll barely follow me.
He's like, wait, tries to catch up, but no.
Yep.
And then he ends up with a door.
Yep.
He's in front of the door. He walks into an earthy 2-room suite, lavishly decorated with carven wood and clinging plants.
Yep.
Listen, it's very witchy. I don't need to read the whole
witchy.
thing. In the center of the main room, on a plush leather chair, sat the fortune teller and witch Angela. She smiled brightly. What are you doing here? Blurted Eragon. Well, why don't you sit on the floor and I'll tell you. I'd offer you a chair, but I'm sitting on the only one. And he just,
I love her.
Just settle between two acrid, bubbling green potions.
Love it.
So, you are a writer.
Yep. I had a feeling, but...
But, you know, I'm sure Solembum knew, but he didn't tell me.
Which is fair.
Oh, Saphira. I like it. It's a fitting name for a dragon. And she says, like, oh, you know, I should have figured out when you mentioned Brom. Brom's dead. The Razak
and she's
killed
taken
him.
aback.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I truly am. And they get this, Eragon's like kind of mad.
Yeah.
He's like, you knew it was going to happen. You predicted it. She's like, okay, well, I didn't know whose death was going to be. But I'm not surprised. Yeah, that kind of tracks.
Because she's like, I feel like she's like, the way that she knew Brom, and because it's hinted she knows Brom, the way he lived his life. Yeah.
I like, he says, like, we've met a couple times. He didn't care for my frivolous attitude towards magic. It irritated him. I can see that.
Oh, absolutely.
I
can see Angela getting on Brom's nerves and Brom being like, I need to fucking leave.
Cannot be around
My
her.
head is splitting.
Eragon calls her out for laughing about his fate.
Yes.
And she does say, in retrospect, it was in rather bad taste. But I didn't know what would befall him.
Yeah.
How do I put this? Brom was cursed in a way. It was his weird to fail at all of his tasks except one, although through no fault of his own. He was chosen as a rider, but his dragon was killed. He loved a woman, but it was his affection for her that was her undoing. And he was chosen, I assume, to guard and train you, but in the end, he failed at that as well. The only thing he succeeded at was killing Morzan, and a better deed he couldn't have done. And so I think that's when she's like, oh, his fate's like kind of a joke among magic circles. Like, that's it wasn't his fate to die. Like, that's not what the joke was. The joke was like, he's gonna fail at everything he ever tries to do, and not even because he's bad at it.
Yeah, I honestly think like with the magic system, it's kind of like a balance where magic takes energy and things like that. It almost makes sense because if his one task was to kill Morzan, the first and last of the Forsworn, the fact that like ruined his luck just tracks.
Yeah, it's the most important thing you need to do. It's the
most,
Not be a writer, not be in love with this moment, not even train Eragon. The most important thing you need to do is kill Morzan.
And then that because
I like the framing of that. That's good.
Because you did that, you can't do anything else. Like you'll
and that's
try.
And that is very funny to fortune tellers. Like, I get why they'd be like, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and it's because it's like it's not that you'll you'll fail at everything else, but like the fact that you try is like important. Like in that, because like
she says, through no fault of your own,
exactly.
You're perfectly competent and equipped to do this, but your weird is not just the way fate is folded around you.
And it's just really interesting.
Yeah, like she's like, in retrospect, it was pretty bad taste. She's like, I didn't know he was gonna die that soon, but like, I'm not surprised to find out.
Yeah.
But like, okay, you're right. I shouldn't have laughed. That was pretty catty of me.
Yeah.
But I love he's like, and then Eragon's response is, Brom never mentioned a woman to me. Eragon, Brom didn't mention a lot to you.
He didn't mention like anything.
Why
my
should he
guy.
mention an old girlfriend to you? He didn't even tell you he was a writer.
Yeah, like he's not going to tell you about his interest, like his freaking intimate life.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't even tell you the one thing that we can all agree, you probably did need to know he was a writer because that would have really changed the dynamic of the situation. Respectfully, you didn't need to know about his old girlfriend.
That's his business.
But respectfully, Eragon, we agree with a lot of things about how Brom shouldn't have kept secrets for you. In this case, mind your business.
Yeah, it's not your business, my guy. Love you, but
I love. He's like, okay, why did you leave? What are you doing?
Oh, I
here?
love this.
At last, an interesting question. God, she's a bitch.
She's so good.
I love her. After hearing Brom's name again during your visit, I sensed a return of the past in Allegasia. People were whispering that the Empire was hunting a rider. I knew that the Varden's dragon egg must have hatched, so I closed up my shop and set out to learn more. You knew about the egg? Of course I did. I'm not an idiot. I've been around much longer than you would believe. Very little happens that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Damn. And now we get to like why we were so excited about Angela when she first showed up.
Yep.
And she's just like a weird, quirky, like herbalist fortune teller witch.
Yep.
Here's the this. If anybody who's literally like reading along and hasn't engaged in these books and was a little bit like, okay, obviously this character comes back and is cooler, but like, what's the big deal? This is my shit.
Yeah.
Angela, fucking Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunters, like, give me a sassy, magical, ancient figure who's always where the action is at. Isn't the cause of the drama, but loves the tea.
But revels in the tea.
Revels in it, wants to be where the heart of action is, but also... Okay, at least in the case of Magnus Bane, when they're in the heart of the action, things are better because they're there.
Yeah.
Like... I'm all in on this witch. Like, I'm so jazzed that Angela's around. I forgot how much I genuinely loved her.
Yeah.
And her whole thing is just being like, oh yeah, I knew things were going, so I went to the Varden. Like, I knew these were about to pop off, and I wanted to be there for it.
Yep, and she got there so fucking fast. She also
she's
didn't have
been
to
there for
like,
weeks.
Yeah, a month, I think she says.
Yeah, she says. Yeah, they talk a while. She's like, listen, I don't love being here. It's just, like, not my favorite place. They're so serious and noble.
Yeah.
They're probably all doomed to tragic deaths. And the dwarves are just a superstitious bunch of ninnies content to hammer rocks all their lives. The only redeeming aspect of this place is all the mushrooms and the fungi. Then why stay? Because I like to be where the important events are occurring.
Yep.
Besides, if I'd stayed in Tarim, Solomon would have left without me, and I enjoy his company.
I love that.
Mood. Solomon was going anyway, so, like, I'm not gonna not go without the cat. But tell me all the adventures you've had since we last spoke.
Yep.
And he does tell her everything.
He tells her literally everything. He hasn't told... he didn't tell Ajahad everything. He kept Angela's fortune telling to himself.
Yeah.
He's keeping things to himself. Angela, he tells fucking everything.
And I think it's because the fortune telling. The one thing he has been consistent in hiding from the twins, from Ajahad, from like anybody, is her prophecy.
Yep.
But she knows that. She
Yes.
knows this thing that is the most important thing that that Eragon doesn't want others to know.
Yes.
And that does inherently put Angela in this like space of she's in the circle of trust.
Yes.
Right? She's in the zone of truth.
Yes,
She already knows.
Yes.
So why hide anything
Yep.
from her? And honestly, at this point, she probably might already know anyway. Might as well be
He's like,
honest
might
and
as
get
well.
her
Yeah,
feedback.
exactly.
And so she is shocked when he mentions like Murtag. And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, but like, don't judge until you hear. And he tells her all about it. And she's like, okay, I'd warn you to be careful with Murtag, but you're obviously aware of the danger. Murtag has been a steadfast friend and an unwavering ally. All the same, be careful. And then there's the matter of the Shade, Durza. I think he's the greatest threat to the Varden right now, aside from Gabatorix. I loathe the Shades. They practice the most unholy magic after necromancy. I'd like to dig out his heart with a dull hairpin and feed it to a pig.
It's like, whoa, Angela.
He's like, oh, shoot. He's like, that's the sudden. He literally is like, he was startled by her sudden vehemence. And we get a little bit more like lore on Shades. Like, I thought they were just like sorcerers.
Yep.
And she explains that, like, you know, if they use spirits who accomplish things to their will, why does that make them so evil? It doesn't. Ordinary sorcerers are just that, ordinary.
Yep.
They use their magical strength to control spirits and the spirits' powers. Shades, however, relinquish that control in search of a greater power and allow their bodies to be controlled by spirits. Unfortunately, only the evilest spirits seek to possess humans. And once enscorned, they never leave.
Yep.
So now we get the difference between a sorcerer and a shade. They both do the same kind of magic, but the manner in which they do the magic is inherently different.
Yep.
And that leads to this kind of evil, corrupting force. Yep. Chef's kiss, very good.
Oh, so good. Good lore. Good lore.
Yep. It's very good. She also mentions like only 2 people have ever killed a shade, an elf and a rider.
Yep.
Or at least, not to say they only ever killed a shade. Maybe more have killed them, but they didn't survive the act of killing a shade.
These are the 2 that killed and survived.
Yep. And the Eragon shade says, how'd you get all your stuff here? Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
Look,
I like that whole thing is like when she arrived, the magic group or whatever that's part of the Varden like hounded her to join, I think is what it was. And she's like, I got so tired of it, I ended up moving.
Yeah, even they're all wanting to join. They're like secret clubs, even the twins. And she just bounced.
She's like, nah, I'm done. And she's like, please don't tell anybody I'm here. I really don't want to move again.
Yeah. I like how Eragon also says, oh, did you have to let the twins into your mind? A cold gleam leapt into Angela's eye. The twins wouldn't dare probe me for fear of what I might do to them. Oh, they'd love to, but they know the effort would leave them broken and gibbering in nonsense. I've been coming here before the Barden began examining people's minds. They're not about to start on me now.
I'm like, Angela, you should just do it. Just do it, please, Angela.
Just do it.
Just do it.
So much. I'm sure. Please, Angela,
just
please.
do it. I know it sucks, and the Varden. It would be bad for the Varden because the like scanners and stuff like that, and powerful magicians. But please, just do it.
I love that she's like, okay, this has been fun. You can go now.
Yeah, all right.
I have things to do. My brew of and this is where we get the chapter title. My brew of mandrake root and newt's tongue is about to boil, and it needs attention. Do come back again when you have time. And this is just like, please don't tell anybody where I live. I'll be irritated. I'll keep your secrets.
Good. Yep.
And just, Sullenbum guided him back to the dragon hold, then dismissed him with a twitch of his tail before sauntering away.
Yeah.
The most cat.
He's so good.
Paolini definitely grew up with cats.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a cat right
That's
there.
100% a cat. I do love the like every time Angela pops up, it's like, yay, Angela's back.
And the fact that we're staying where Angela is like makes me excited because I'm like, we can see more Angela.
Exactly. And the fact that I do like there's something about them being in the same place that is just like, oh yay, kind of thing.
And I also like that this is a character we met. This is our first character we're seeing again.
Yes.
Like
out of the ones we met early on.
Yeah. Like we met her. I said like 500 pages ago.
Yes.
Like that was around the time we heard Braum talking about all the things that Asha had finally talks what I mentioned in the previous episode. So it's really nice and it's cool and it does indicate that like, oh, this is the kind of series where you should pay attention to the people you meet. Like just because we met them here and then left doesn't mean that the story is over for that character. It doesn't make them, and it does like put us a little bit more on like pay attention.
Yep.
You should pay attention. You will be rewarded for remembering, right? Like you'll be rewarded for remembering things that happen, remembering characters who have been met. Like you should be prepared for that because nothing is unimportant.
Yes.
And agreed. I think that tells us a lot about the kind of story we're getting.
Yep.
We are also now less than 100 pages from the end. And in my copy of the book, in my like paperback copy, that's like the stout version with the movie cover on it. Lucy's were probably 30 pages from the end of the book or something
like that.
But we're pretty close to the end.
There.
Like, hey, listeners, thanks for being here.
Yeah, super excited.
So close.
Super excited to finish and then super excited to start the next.
Yeah, that'll
so I have about actually I can see this. I have 2 hours and 23 minutes left of the book.
So we are close to wrapping. We can't give y'all an expectation on like chapters and how many because it'll depend or episodes because it'll depend on like how many we pair. Because these last ones, this could have lasted 2 months with us coming out each chapter, but because we combined 4 chapters into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know how much longer the season of us will last.
Yeah.
Because it really again depends on like how much happens. And here, peek behind the curtain. I was texting Lucy less than an hour before she was set to come over to record, and we were game planning for what we were going to pair.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering, why don't they just tell us in advance? Because, gang, I don't know.
Yeah,
We for
it's
real
really
sometimes
last
make
minute.
That call
Sorry
when
about
literally
that.
reading the thing. So that's why we try to record bulk episodes. So at the very least, I can put things on Instagram to give y'all a heads up.
A heads up, yeah.
Maybe in next season we'll have a more like, all right, we'll
Yeah.
figure this out to be
It's
a little
just
bit more
been-
mechanic.
Yeah, it's just been harder, especially because like bringing up work again, work schedules. I'm at work for 10 hours,
Mhm.
and so that's like difficult to work around. Because I have to sleep and eat and make food and
Yep.
everything in between, and then also just indulge in my hobbies and writing and things like that, and then on top of podcasts, so it's hard to work around. And yeah, y'all didn't
So-
need that much info, but yes.
But yeah, we're real people. We're not
Real
just voices
people,
from
yes.
your podcast app. But we appreciate all this. We appreciate folks who
100%.
stuck around after we went from bi-weekly or weekly to bi-weekly.
Yes.
It's still something we want to shift back to doing more frequent episodes. But until we can be certain we're going to be able to reliably have those come out as expected, we don't want to go like 3 episodes coming out weekly and then all of a sudden be off for like 2
Yeah.
weeks. Like until we reach a time where we can feel like we can, like I said, function mechanically.
Yeah.
We appreciate you letting us be real people and still wanting to
Absolutely.
listen to the
Yes.
show.
Thank you guys so much.
We broke 10,000 downloads,
Yes, we did.
and that's huge.
Super cool.
Like part of a lot of podcasts, and that's. I mean, yeah, compared to the biggest podcast in the world, that's a drop. But
Yeah.
like, that's not nothing, and that's from y'all
Yeah.
wanting to listen and coming back every episode.
Yep.
So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so
much.
Shall we do a little bit of shouting out our
Absolutely.
listeners?
Yes, let's do that.
Curtis Moore
Woohoo.
gave us a, in regards to favorite and least favorite info dumps.
Yes.
Least favorite, all the masonry dumping in Pillars of the Earth. I know he did a lot of reading about cathedral construction, but it's too much. Word. Sometimes an
Fair.
info dump is the author wanting to prove they did research.
Yeah.
And they're like, I spent a lot of time learning this and I want to prove it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'll just believe you. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, we're just gonna skim this.
Favorite info dump. Every episode of Futurama where they catch Fry up on whatever that episode is about and then move on with it.
Yeah, that's
But hilarious.
hilarious.
Futurama's delightful. I never got
Futurama's
super
great.
into it, but what I've seen of it, I've always enjoyed.
Oh yeah, agreed. Same.
I forgot to post the essay question thing to our Instagram, so we'll probably get more on info dump ones in the future.
Oh yes.
So let me go through. Did I talk about how we got so many people feeding their feedback and almost everyone just like, I agree with Eragon or I agree with Murtagh in Clash of Wills?
I don't
Like,
think we talked
yeah,
about that.
every response we had to the on Instagram of like, did you side with Eragon or Murtagh was Murtagh. Murtagh is right.
Yeah.
Murtagh.
Yep.
I like this. Murtagh. We're collecting slaver heads from dawn till dusk only to do it again.
That's great.
But, favorite twist in fiction. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Luke and the Cursed Blade, and also
Yep.
How to Train Your Dragon,
Ooh.
SO2, the Azor Ahi.
Season that's probably in the show. I haven't watched the
I don't
show.
know.
I really need to though.
And then I got a couple of fun responses on who's your favorite queer-coded villain?
Yeah.
Hades.
Oh yeah.
Does Harl Ivy count? Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of Harley and
Yeah.
Ivy. That's embarrassing on me. And then Hollow Ground. And I don't know what that's from, but it sounded really cool.
Yeah, it
So-
did sound really cool.
But yeah, and then I got one more. Someone left a comment that I thought was pretty cool. Let
Ooh.
me go find. This is throwing back to a May episode.
Ooh,
where
cool.
We talked about what fictional character death hit you the hardest. And K Foster 0529 says, to the question of which death hit me the hardest, I have 2. Harry Potter's uncle, Sirius Black. Harry longs for a connection to his parents and to have a family throughout the books. He finally has it when he's searching, he finally has what he's been searching for, only to have it ripped away. Devastating. And I'm like, yeah, my man. Honestly, I'll never get over it.
I have such big fucking beef with that.
Never gonna get over it.
There is no need. Anyway.
Crazy. And then second one, spoilers for Fourth Wing. Liam from Fourth Wing putting himself in harm's way for Violet was heartbreaking. I had to put the book up for a couple days after that. It was pivotal to the story, but I wish they could have kept him in the story. what it will be our take-home activity for this episode. Also a writing tip. I almost let us get out of here without it.
Oh no!
I almost let you all leave without homework.
Oh no!
For your take-home assignment, dear listeners, we would love to hear your favorite superstitions.
Yes.
Either in the real world stuff, don't go under ladder, don't open an umbrella inside, or like these are very like Western American ones. So listeners from other countries, we'd love to hear your like cultural superstitions. That'd be cool. Or like some from fictional ones.
Yeah.
Like the superstition of like blessings can turn into curses, like Eragon mentions. In the Shadowhunter series, there's a song about seeing ravens and how many you see. Like it's a song based on a superstition. You see X amount of ravens, or it might be crows, and it means something is about to happen. And I don't remember exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I remember it as a vibe, and I always really liked it.
I think for me, a superstition, I can't remember if it's exactly a superstition, but it's from Six of Crows Ketterdam, where they say no mourners, no funerals. Ooh. And it is, I think it is a kind of superstition because it's like more of like a reminder. It's like a real life superstition.
Yeah.
Like not like I was going to say like you walk under it's not,
you step on a crack.
Yeah, you step on a crack, you break your mom's back. It's not like I want to say ethereal, but I don't know if that's the right word. It's more like
amorphous.
Yeah, it's when you say no mourners, no funerals, it means that when you die, there will be no mourners, there will be no funerals. So it's like take life seriously.
It's a little bit like not que sera sera, c'est la vie.
Yeah, a little bit like that. So it's kind of like
it's very fuck it we ball.
Yeah, it's basically like you like live your life, like you better live your life the way you want, and it's almost like a good luck chant that the members the characters will say to one another to do it. So it's like in that way it is a superstition, but like in a weird. That's the only thing that I can really think of.
got you.
But yeah,
nice. And then for writing tip for this one, here's the thing. What's something we liked, like in this one particularly thought was like a good beat?
What I liked was like I said it before, like this was I said it at the top where this was the first time that Eragon was actually able to, like you've mentioned, that tension just finally releasing. And that's what it feels like. That was what it felt like for me. It was like, okay, I can actually relax. Eragon can actually fully 100% recover.
Well then, okay, how about, and the way it's described is like he feels like a knot of tension releasing in his chest. Yeah. That very like tangible physical thing, not just like Eragon could feel himself relaxing. He felt it like this. Yeah. And this is a pretty basic one, but like communicating with your senses, like writing with your senses, remembering, remembering to write with your senses. My friend Emily from Monster Donut podcast shared it's actually an exercise in poetry to help with describing scene and sensation.
Oh, I like that.
Because in poetry, it is so tactile, it is so descriptive, and sometimes prose can lose that. Yes. And so practicing poetically to get those things and help identify ways and opportunities to make sensation and atmosphere. I like that. I think there's been a lot of sensation and atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely.
So, remember your senses. Yes. I think, for writing. It's a basic one, but it's something we can forget when you get into a groove.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's important.
Nice. All right. Bet. I'll hit up Emily and see if she'd be willing to send that to me in more detail, and I can maybe write something and put it up on the Instagram
that would be cool.
to share what it really is, because it's been a while since she told me about it. But
yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We will be back next time, and until then, she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this is Eragon.
And back again.